we make a commitment to constantly challenging our own paradigms, that's how we're going to do better. Let's say, for example, the old way of thinking is that people with significant developmental disabilities would be great at working at fast food establishments or working as janitors and working in other such fields. But instead, what if people with disabilities can actually be paid a pretty darn good wage? Well, that actually already happens. There are people with developmental and other significant intellectual disabilities and others who are being paid darn well, who are doing things like cleaning medical instruments at hospitals, saving hospitals millions of dollars, and yet themselves being paid at least not only the minimum wage, but a really good wage, up to $15 an hour or more, and working full-time and making and having great government benefits. There are others who do document imaging. There are others who eventually move into positions of leadership and not just at working at a staff level. Those are things that were never comprehended in the past.
David Taylor Jr. has cerebral palsy, but also has developed a successful small business, selling water at NASCAR events in the Southeast.
I speak for myself, and I am my own guardian. I live in my apartment. I sell a bottle of water.
I talk to organizations about living on your own, about employment, and about basically all the things that a person with a disability would have to struggle through, because I myself have been there. And if you don't know the red tape that goes along with that, there's a lot of holes you might fall into.
What does the future hold? Will the concepts of self-determination become the accepted policies at the federal and state levels? Some leaders of the movement, such as Tom Nearney, say reform of programs for people with disabilities, the elderly, and others needing help must be pursued now. Government can't afford not to act, and the hour is late.
We can't wait much longer to begin downsizing properly institutions for other populations. And if we don't begin to get on top of those issues almost immediately, what we're going to see is the collapse of the Medicaid long-term care program. We know with the aging of America that we're going to have 20% of the population over 65 by the year 2030, I think. If you look at the developmental disability population, this is the most frightening statistic. We serve about 450,000 individuals with developmental disabilities in 24-hour supports in the human service system. That means usually a place to call home, sometimes a group home, sometimes not their own place, but residentially we serve them, and usually with a day program or a work program. There are today over 700,000 individuals with developmental disabilities living at home today with an aging caregiver, not served 24 hours a day. It would require us in the next decade to more than double the capacity of the DD system itself. And it's a ticking time bomb.
To critics that find self-determination to be unreasonable and too costly, some suggest that such policies are actually realistic and prudent.
Self-determination is fundamentally pragmatic. It is practical. People with disabilities are experts about their own lives. If you want to make the best use of the resources that are available, you'll ask people, what would you do if you had control over these resources? Their ideas, their insights, I think, can make a much more cost-effective use of the resources that we've got, and that's pragmatic.
Not only is self-determination practical, it provides citizens the opportunity to contribute.
If I have a disability or, I have some, limiting experience in my life, and it's like, hi, my name is Mike, what do you do, Mike? Oh, nothing. I go and sit in a program all day long. Well, what do you do at the program? Oh, nothing. I sit at the program. That takes away the opportunity to feel that part of you that says, I can do something that matters. We just believe that it doesn't matter what age you are. You know, we know that when we take grandma, who's been living at home all of her life, raising a family, helping her kids raise their kids, all those kinds of things, and we take her out of that place of purpose and value, and we move her into a nursing home as an example, and she loses her vision, she loses her purpose, we know what happens to her health. It goes down. She's much likely to die faster in that nursing home than she is in her own home. But everybody should have that opportunity to be able to experience that sense of, I have a reason to be alive.
While issues of rights as citizens and sound government policy are priorities, the ability to experience a full life in the community cannot be ignored.
People are happiest and feel most fulfilled, not when they get, but when they give. And when we don't allow people with disabilities to be able to be part of the fabric and the community and the mosaic of life, what we're saying is you're going to be a consumer for the rest of your life. You're going to consume rather than give. And we're denying people not only their birthright, but we're also denying people the opportunity to contribute. And it's the contribution that makes society better.
Giving people a brighter future is the ultimate goal. It's important for everybody to have positive expectations about what the future is. And if anyone's beliefs happen to be limited, to then, for those individuals to meet examples of true success, so that way the individuals with limited expectations can ultimately broaden their own horizons. And as they broaden their own horizons, they can share that with their colleagues and with others they know, so that way it'll have a ripple effect in the broader world.
While there are still other chapters to be written in the self-determination saga, a rising tide of sentiment appears to be fostering a new era of opportunity for people with disabilities. This era will be one where people with disabilities are able to live complete lives, full lives in the communities of their choosing, with equal opportunities for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is self-determination.